March the 8th, 1987. Vassula writes, Continuation. The Lord speaks. Come and get to know me. I am not beyond reach. We walk side by side. You live in me, and I in you. We are never parted, never. Come and derive from my infinite goodness, and let your inclemency dissolve in my purity. O daughter, in spite of having many of my beloved children made holy by baptism, there are only very few who know me as I am. They forget to look upon me as a loving Father. Many of them leave me, thinking that I am beyond reach. Many of them think of me in their own manner, attributing permanent feelings of despicable inclinations. Some think of me only in fear. Others doubt of my infinite love. The footnote reads, this message continues on March the 18th, 1987. Vassula writes, here I was interrupted. The photograph I ordered of the Holy Shroud arrived. I contemplated it and came back to writing while I was looking at it. The Lord speaks. Remember, I am still suffering. Vassula, how embittered I am. Why are so many of my sheep scattered? Look at them. Was it in vain my sacrifice? Daughter, how displeased I am. How utterly shattered my soul is. I suffer. Feed my sheep. Weary not of writing. Vassula speaks. No, Lord, I will not weary. The Lord speaks. I will give you the strength you need. Come, let us work. Let us continue. I am your teacher. Fill me with joy and do not forget my presence. Vassula, you felt my presence. Indeed, I was sitting at the corner of your bed. Let me edit. The footnote reads, Jesus uses my language, for we know from St. Teresa of Avila that God adapts himself to his chosen one's language. The Lord continues, what I wrote, it is I, Jesus. I am sitting now, but at this very instant I will arise, since you too will arise. Vassula writes, he hardly finished writing when the door knocked urgently and I jumped up. I stood there quite perplexed. Jesus was emphasizing his presence to me that evening very much. It was so much like some other times that I took a piece of paper to check, and he wrote the above paragraph. In brackets she writes, at the door was my bearer telling me something. The Lord speaks. I love you. Weary not writing, giving me this freedom. The footnote reads, of using me. He continues, giving me this freedom is what I desire. Vassula speaks. Jesus, you are wonderful. The Lord speaks. Be always cheerful when I am cheerful. Follow me. You will grieve me if you forget my presence. Never forget my presence. Never. Vassula writes, but Lord, it is difficult. Sometimes I have to drive my car. I have to concentrate on the road. I converse with friends on trivial subjects. I help my son in his homework. So how could I constantly have your presence in my mind? It's almost impossible. The Lord answers, Vassula, my flower, when you are in that way, you only have to remember the virtues by being humble, devout, gentle, graceful, truthful, loving. Yes, being virtuous is remembering me. Come, let us go. I wish to make it known to you that I do approach in a supernatural way, giving my messages. Do not forget that I am a God of mercy, and in spite of your wretchedness and the indifference you had towards me, I love you. I gave you this charism so that you can learn directly from my lips. Vassula, resting in you in your heart feels good. Vassula writes in brackets, later on. Again, the wave of doubt covered me. The Lord speaks. Come, suffering purifies you. Lean on me. Accept to suffer. Amend, amend, amend for others. Come, let us revive all my children. Vassula writes in brackets, there I became quite distressed. She says to the Lord, but my God, I am helpless. How could I do anything? She writes in brackets, he said very softly. Jesus speaks, will I ever abandon you? Use my grains and sow them into fields, yielding the fruit of peace and love. Let my word be known to all. I will be with you all the time. Vassula speaks. Suppose they refuse it and put it aside, doubting about it. Suppose they think it's no good. Suppose they do not believe you. The Lord speaks. Hear me, my Vassula. Why are you fearing? All of my creation was done by my hand. Have you forgotten that I am omnipotent? All my creatures obeys my will. Little one, I am the Most High. Do glorify me. Be like a flower needing my light to live.